Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell.
In front of us is the Redmi K100 Pro Max, the flagship model of Redmi's lineup, featuring a massive battery, powerful performance, an excellent display, and an impressive 2.1 channel speaker system. But we're not focusing on that model today. Instead, let's take a closer look at its sibling, the Redmi K100 Pro.
A quick shout out to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Mikey from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out our exciting tech content.
With a more comfortable size, a well-balanced processor, a flagship-level display, a versatile camera setup, and a much more attractive price, the K100 Pro could be one of the best value all-around smartphones in this latest wave of price increases. When it comes to design, the K100 Pro doesn't look dramatically different from its predecessor, and honestly, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. There really wasn't much that needed changing. That said, Redmi has made some improvements to the build quality and craftsmanship. For example, the refined internal frame design that I really liked back in the Xiaomi 15 generation has made its way to the K100 Pro. The result is a smoother, more rounded feel when you hold the phone. And then there's the 6.59-inch display. For most people, that should be a very comfortable size. My hands are relatively small, so just for reference, here's what a typical adult woman's hand looks like when holding it. The back panel is still made from glass, but the previous cool-toned decorative design has been replaced by a more integrated aluminum alloy unibody construction. Another nice change is that the camera module now sits completely flush with the back, which gives the entire phone a cleaner and more cohesive appearance. Interestingly, Redmi has also moved up the K-series launch schedule quite significantly, bringing it forward by almost 2 months. The reason is pretty easy to understand. The later a phone launches, the more pressure there is on its pricing, and that can be especially damaging for a value-focused product line like Redmi. And just look at Realme, which has already been discontinued. That shows how serious the situation can become. Fortunately, Redmi has made some very smart decisions with the K100 Pro's configuration. I was honestly worried that they might put a 5th generation Snapdragon 8 Elite chip inside it and then push the price close to 4,000 yuan. That would have completely defeated the purpose of this phone. So, how does the 5th generation Snapdragon 8 Elite V series actually perform? Well, in real-world use, the performance is quite impressive. If we're talking about raw performance, we can obviously look at benchmark results, but when it comes to everyday experience, I'm basing this on the way I personally use my phone, and in that scenario, this processor fits extremely well. I don't spend a huge amount of time playing mobile games. Most of my daily usage revolves around messaging applications, shopping applications, video platforms, and other content-focused apps. In these situations, the experience feels remarkably close to what you would get from the regular 5th generation Snapdragon 8 Elite. And when you look at the specifications, that actually makes a lot of sense. The 5th generation Snapdragon 8 Elite V series does have some specifications reduced compared with the standard version, but most of those cuts are focused on the GPU. The CPU itself remains a pure high-performance CPU design. At the moment, many mobile games are more likely to encounter CPU limitations than GPU limitations. Because of that, the reduced GPU specifications may not translate into a major difference in real-world performance for most users. Now let's move on to the actual testing. With the Redmi K100 Pro unit I'm using here, the overall performance and responsiveness are genuinely good, which is pretty much what I expected. The CPU in the 5th generation Snapdragon 8 Elite V series still retains flagship-level specifications with a 2+6 core configuration and high clock speeds. This high-performance setup means that in most everyday situations, the Redmi K100 Pro has more than enough power to handle whatever you throw at it. However, if we look at performance objectively, it is still slightly behind the 5th generation Snapdragon 8 Elite, which remains a top-tier flagship platform. The bigger question is what happens several years from now, when applications and games become increasingly demanding and the workload placed on these high-performance devices continues to rise. Fortunately, Redmi has another solution in reserve. The phone also includes a secondary dedicated graphics processor, which can help with frame interpolation and super resolution processing. This allows the device to improve image quality during post-processing while taking some of the workload away from the main platform. And because smartphone displays are relatively small, imperfections from frame generation and super resolution algorithms can be much harder to notice during normal use. So based on the actual experience, the advantages of this approach seem to outweigh the disadvantages. And now we come to another major upgrade this time around. The camera system has been significantly improved.
The main camera has now been upgraded to a 200 megapixel sensor, while the telephoto camera has also received an upgrade to 5 megapixels. It's not just the lens quality that has improved significantly. The overall functionality and versatility of the camera system have also become much better. You get telephoto capabilities, macro photography, and OIS support. The ultra-wide-angle camera, on the other hand, remains fairly average with its 8 megapixels. However, considering how much more frequently the main camera and telephoto lens are used, upgrading those two cameras to 5 megapixels makes a much bigger difference in everyday photography. In real-world use, the ultra-wide-angle camera is still the weakest part of the setup, but the main and telephoto cameras show a noticeable improvement. The colors are bright yet natural, and the combination of mature image processing algorithms with high-quality hardware has helped deliver a much more refined overall image quality. Moving on to the night photography test, the limitations of the ultra-wide-angle camera become much more obvious. When you zoom into the images, you can see fairly aggressive sharpening because of the weaker hardware. The main camera and telephoto camera, however, continue to perform very consistently. They do a good job controlling highlights and preserving shadow areas. More importantly, the processing doesn't simply try to brighten everything and make the image look artificially vibrant. Instead, it keeps the exposure under control and preserves the natural feeling of a nighttime scene. Even when you zoom in, details in darker areas and shadows are retained quite well. This approach to image processing feels much closer to what you would expect from a more natural photography experience. Unfortunately, one long-standing issue with Redmi phones still hasn't been fixed. There is still a significant difference between what you see in the camera preview and what you get in the final photograph. This has been an issue across multiple generations, and it's still present here. Once you enable the 200 megapixel mode, the amount of detail in the images improves noticeably, and during the day, the results are actually very impressive. However, at night, the sharpening artifacts are still quite obvious. Now let's talk about the display, because the screen configuration on the K100 Pro is seriously impressive. In fact, it's one of those displays where I really don't have much to complain about. You get an extremely high 185 Hz refresh rate, super pixels, local touch optimization, and M11 luminous materials. Even the screen size is well judged at 6.59 inches. It sits nicely in the middle ground. It's a little larger than what you would consider a compact or small screen phone, but it's still very comfortable to handle. Personally, I think the dimensions are almost ideal. There is just one thing I would have liked to see improved. The bezels on all four sides aren't perfectly symmetrical. If you look carefully, the bottom bezel is still slightly thicker than the other three sides. A truly uniform four-sided bezel gives a phone a much more premium flagship-like appearance, and that's an area where Redmi still has some room for improvement. Finally, let's talk about battery life. The K100 Pro packs an enormous 8,580 mAh battery for a phone of this size. What's particularly impressive is that the overall dimensions have barely changed, yet the battery capacity has increased by almost 1,500 mAh compared with the previous generation. On top of that, wireless charging performance, battery endurance, and PPS compatibility have all been improved as well. Honestly, I'm a little jealous. With battery capacities like this becoming common even on mid-range smartphones, battery anxiety is becoming almost a thing of the past. Overall, the Redmi K100 Pro is a very well-balanced smartphone. If we only look at its headline features and overall performance, it may not be quite as exciting as the K100 Pro Max that launched alongside it. It's easy to predict that once both phones are available, the K100 Pro Max will attract more attention and generate far more discussion. But that doesn't mean the K100 Pro should be overlooked. It occupies a very appealing sweet spot, offers a more comfortable size, and brings significant upgrades over the previous generation. Even if you're not a serious mobile gamer, this is still the kind of phone that can comfortably handle everyday life and remain a reliable companion for years to come. The document printer has stood the test of time. The base variant of the Redmi K100 Pro starts at 3,699 yuan in China, which is approximately £406 in the UK and around $548 in the United States. And with that, we've reached the end of this episode. I hope you found this review useful. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and share the video because your support really means a lot to me. This is Smart Toothpick, and I'll see you in the next one.